Raphinha is the best player in the world right now. But it's all because of one very dark reason. It's because of how selfish he is. I mean, it makes no sense. The most selfish player in the team is a guy with 46 goal contributions so far in all competitions this season. That includes 19 assists as well. He's doing it out of revenge, to prove a point, and for his family. It's a strategy so dark that even the manager's gotten involved and tweaked the team's tactics so it all centres around him. It's working too, because with this new strategy, it puts Raphinha in a position he would have dreamt of at the start of the season. And that's the opportunity to be in the spotlight at arguably the biggest club in the world. Suddenly, all the talk is around him, the Ballon d'Or being the best player in the world, arguably the most important player in the team. This season, his work ethic is insane. He's even got his manager saying he's never had a player like Raphinha on his team. But as good as this is, it's understandable. Raphinha is playing this way because he wants to prove a point, and he knows he needs to. This is just one of many examples. During the summer, there was heavy talk about Barcelona signing Nico Williams after the partnership he struck with Lamine Yamal at the Euros. A lot of people saw these two players as the future of football in Spain, except the catch would have been, if they'd gotten Nico Williams, Raphinha would have been dropped out of the team. It's safe to say Raphinha felt disrespected by the entire situation. I saw people posting my number 11 shirt with Nico Williams' name on social media. That was very disrespectful. It was a joke, but in a bad taste. We have to respect players who are here. He says this and then proceeds to have the best season of his career to date so far. 46 goal contributions in 41 games and counting. He is smashing it. But that's still not the full story. Here's where the real selfish part comes into play. And the craziest thing about this is his manager is encouraging it. You see guys, Raphinha's goal scoring from this season is off the charts. He's outperforming his XG, and the reason he's been in this incredible form, well, it's kinda linked.
Yo sabía que era una de mis características, uno contra uno, me encanta ir uno contra uno al adversario.
The man doesn't hide it. His strongest attribute, it's taking on players one-on-one, isolating himself against the opposition fullbacks. That's where the problem was with Xavi, Barca's previous manager. Before we continue though, please smash that subscribe button to Matchday 365, as it helps us gain traction and reach a wider audience like this. Thanks. And while you're there, please give this video a like too. Under Xavi, Raphinha was expected to be more direct. And when he wasn't, he had guys like Ousmane Dembele ahead of him in the pecking order. Then this kid arrived, Lamine Yamal, and if you're Raphinha, you ain't happy. How come Lamine Yamal gets to take on opponents with ease, and when he does it, it's a bad thing? Hansi Flick has found a solution to that, and that's how we're seeing the best of Raphinha this season. With the way the team operates now, Raphinha plays as a left-footed left winger, and not on the right as would have been his more natural position. But the idea is he's playing two positions at the same time. We talked about Flick saying he's never had a player like Raphinha earlier, and this is where he means it. Hansi Flick's system at Barcelona is a high-tempo and direct style of play that encourages forward passes quickly into the opposition's half. When they get the ball high on the pitch, Raphinha often leaves the right wing and attacks the central positions, the space you'd expect Robert Lewandowski to be operating in. And then at that point, he almost becomes a second striker. And the reason he's able to do this is because when he vacates that area down the right, Alejandro Balde moves high up to provide the width. It's almost as if the system is set up by Hansi Flick and centred around Raphinha. It's also down to the fact that his energy is incredible. When he moves into those central pockets, Raphinha leads the press, and honestly, it's just something he does better than Robert Lewandowski and has made him an essential part of the team. Landing in Barcelona, the beginning was hard.
By Xavi, Ferran Torres to come on. Taking over. Well, he's not happy about being replaced, but he's made his mark all right.
That viral clip of him getting angry after he was subbed by Xavi in the Europa League versus Manchester United summed the whole situation up. The early years at Barcelona were frustrating. No matter what I did, I knew I was always going to come off around 70 minutes. Raphinha made this statement when he was asked about his game time situation a few months back under Xavi. It's all very different now. Flick wasted no time in stating what the idea was with Barcelona. They had to win games and create an identity, but coming down to Raphinha, this was the chance for a fresh start, and he took it. After going without a goal contribution in his first 3 games, Raphinha hit a hat-trick in the next one versus Real Valladolid, a little indicator that something was shifting with the player. Took the same path in the Champions League too. He blanked in his first game in that 2-1 defeat to Monaco, then bagged a goal and assist versus Young Boys. But the real talking point was that night against Bayern Munich at Lewis Companies. A hat-trick versus Bayern Munich, his second of the season already. Suddenly, everyone had started sitting up to take notes, and throughout the season, he kept the big moments coming. Big goals against Real Madrid in both La Liga and the Spanish Super Cup final. The point is clear. Raphinha is playing like a demon possessed this season, and there's also another reason for that. The streets, his family. For footballers like Raphinha, family is everything, and to understand this from his angle, we need to go back a bit. Raphinha was born in Restinga, a neighbourhood in Porto Alegre, Brazil, but that's as good as it gets with his early beginning. Everything else was a struggle. In his words, he wanted to play football from an early age. He'd seen friends who were 10 times better than he was, but they chose the wrong path. He managed to stick to football, even though at the time it seemed like it would cost him his life. He had to beg for food after training sessions because he couldn't afford any. That's how bad it was. Raphinha eventually found his big break after getting rejected at International and Grêmio. He started at the youth club in Bituma, then moved to Avaí, Vitória de Guimarães in the Portuguese First Division, before more popular moves. Sporting CP, Stade Rennes, Leeds United, and finally Barcelona. But what does this early breakdown at the clubs he's played for have to do with his career then? It's connected to it. In his words, he knew football was tough, but that was the only thing he wanted, and so he gave it the chase. To look back and be able to say he's beaten the circumstances that made life difficult for him as a kid. So far, he's been in the clear. If the season ends now, Raphinha will be the odds-on favourite to win the Ballon d'Or this year, and that's saying a lot about just how good he's become. What do you guys think about Raphinha this season? Is he going to win the Ballon d'Or, or might players like Ousmane Dembele, Kylian Mbappe, or even Mohamed Salah pipe him to it? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video too, and I'll see ya in the next one.